Hey Kim, it's the end of August. I don't even know what date it is. I think it's August 28th. It's Friday. It's early morning. We don't have full sun in the backyard really yet. But, I mean, some things are winding down. But we're gonna go through the garden and maybe if I remember, I'll talk about things I learned. And thinking about for next year, or maybe I'll do that in September if I do a September one, but this is the last August one. Here's how my arugula are doing that I grew from my own seed for my first batch in spring. Here's some radishes. I've already had a couple that I pulled out of here. I guess the arugula pretty soon will be ready, right? Then I've got all of the things that I grew winter sowed. You can see that, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can't tell, but there's less stuff here because I've transplanted some in my yard, some in my mom's yard. I don't know if I gave you anything from this table. I don't know, I think I did. But you can see some things, even though I potted them, are still very small. Like this is a goldenrod, Canada goldenrod, and look at how tiny this penstemon digitalis is, whereas this is the same plant over here. This was the first one I took out of those little trays and put in a pot, and you can see that grew really well. The wild petunias, the red columbine, that's basically, I mean, outside of scallions and moss. And then the dill, this dill here I bought. And then we've got a little bit of curled parsley in here. These three plants are not mine. I mean, they are mine, I bought them, but I'm transplanting them over to the native, the little pollinator bed we want in the new community garden. I just pulled a bunch of peppers off of here, and I made chili last night. That's for tomorrow. I mean, for today. I made it yesterday for the next day, but that's today now. Look at how nice the begonias are doing. Here's the rest of the prairie drop seed. That's for you, for your yard. I believe these are purple coneflower that started growing up in the middle of my aisle here, in the middle of my path, my secret garden path. I think I'm gonna also let me put these over here. I'm gonna bring these over to the community garden. And then I still have some carrots growing. I've pulled a lot of carrots out. Some of these are tiny. There was a swallowtail caterpillar that got really big in here, and then I didn't see it, and I was hoping that it maybe went and made a chrysalis somewhere, but I don't know where it is. And then let's just look right here. I do have some tomatoes that are going to ripen, but you know, they basically stopped growing. Like I stopped getting new flowers and stuff because it got blight. So that was a bad tomato year. My green beans have done fairly well, considering that the house sparrows attacked them the last couple of years. And if we look over here, you can see they finally realized they were here, and they started eating them on the side here. You know, they eat the leaves. I'm not even sure if they eat the flowers. There was arugula growing in this bed that went to seed. Here, let's just go through here. Here's my turnips. Look at how big my turnips have gotten. I pulled a few out to thin them out a little bit. I gotta thin them out again. Just waiting to see who's growing the best before I pull. Now, I did plant carrot seeds in this bed, and you could see there's only one that popped up. So I might put, I have some more, what is that stuff called? Cabbage. I'm growing some cabbage, and then I was going to put some plastic around this to see if it'll, you know, just to give it a little bit longer life, to see if I can get that going. And in that bed with the carrots, I do have a cover, a greenhouse cover, so I was thinking about putting spinach in there. And then look at this. There's my cucumber. That's my third cucumber. I do have another one here that's growing funny. And then, oops, sorry, there's a lot of netting here. And then I've got one here. And I don't know, there's a couple other little ones in there. But anyway, this spot doesn't get too much sun. It gets sun right now. And then it's a big tree covering it. Oh, come on, guys. But I planted more radishes in here because we still have plenty of time. They're ready in about 4 weeks. So I planted those about a week ago or so. Let's come around from. Let's just take a look over here before we get to the main garden, the main native garden. Just want to show you the clematis that's blooming over here. And gosh, I don't know if you can see. I posted some shorts of all the insects that are pollinators that are flying around the clematis out front. But wow, that's funny. I'm not seeing them up in the top more. Not in the front. Maybe they want to be in the sun. These little insects. A lot of bees. Huh. Of course, because they're all shy with the camera. That's why I can't get anybody. And they've kind of, there's a bumblebee. I don't know if we can catch him. There. And then you can see here, I'm going to have a lot. Gosh, I hope I can get them before the squirrels do. Oh, look, here's a couple bumblebees. They really like the raspberry flowers. There's some more. There's some two-spotted over here, but then I think there's, this guy up here is a two-spotted for sure. And look at this. Still more. All the way up there. These will be the first ones, I think, to be ripe. Gosh, that's a lot. Huh? And then here's a bigger view, a wider view of the native bed. And this is the goldenrod, the blue-stemmed goldenrod, and it's got little buds on it. This is it's a September bloomer. The New England aster, I don't know. These guys you can see there's a lot of brown in the leaves there. I don't normally water in here, and I don't know what's going on with these guys. The only thing I can think of is that the wild indigo bloomed, got really big and bloomed this year. I don't know what's going on, but I don't really see the buds on them yet. Here's the Missouri primrose. We just had a flower open. They usually are closed in the daytime, so they're evening primrose. We've got our geraniums, we've got our bee balm, we've got more butterfly weed blooming, and we're gonna get how these are bright green, which means if they have enough time, they're gonna bloom. What I learned, here's one of the things I learned, is that butterfly weed likes its space. So I tried to pull as many of the strawberries away from them once I realized that, because they looked like they were maybe getting some sort of disease or struggling earlier. And so that's one of the things I'm gonna do is keep the space, keep the space open, give them room. Yep. And then, let's see, well, that was the coreopsis there, very coreopsis. This is, we finally have no more flowers on the swamp milkweed or the rose milkweed. I did plant, here, this is the yellow coneflower from seedlings that I had. Hopefully those will come up next year. The brown-eyed Susan's lovely and doing well. Let's see. Here's the mountain mint with its last few little pieces of petals on it. And here's the cardinal flower. We've got a couple more in the back. You can't really see them behind this very big, well, I guess it's not that big. purple garden phlox, but here we go. See, look at that, 2 of them together, gorgeous. The little hummingbird's been on them. This is what's really big. I'll be cutting it back this year. I might even try some fire on it too, but this is just too big. It's too big. It's crazy. I gotta get it down. And then we got a little tomato plant that this has got to be that little. God, what's the tiny one called? It's like a pea size tomato. Self-seeded itself from a couple of years ago, I guess, because I haven't planted those in a while because I've just run out of room. And then let's see what's in here. Let's see if we can find the leaves. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Here's a leaf. This is the golden Alexander. And then of course we've got all the milkweed, and it's covered with aphids. A true bug, I learned last night, watching a video on insects. And then we've got some pods here, which I'll be saving for you. I'm gonna have to cover these blueberries so they don't get chewed down this winter. And the rhubarb, none of that's exciting now because that's kind of all done. Oh, here's your little feverfew herb you love. And yeah, I'm not sure what else did I learn? Well, I learned that I'm going to cut this thing down. I am going to rearrange these the food. The last couple of years I've grown the tomatoes here, and I really like growing tomatoes directly in soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to grow them in this bed where the green beans are, and I'm going to, from the trellis, I'm going to hang string so they grow straight up. I'm not going to grow as many, so hopefully they do better. And actually I was maybe thinking of growing them in the second bed here. That this doesn't have anything growing up at this here, and growing the cucumbers there, and then growing the green beans over there. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, this is what you didn't see. This is also golden Alexander, the leaves. I didn't see any swallowtails on these guys this year. They were just on the herbs and the food plants. The whole reason I grow it, the golden Alexander, is because it's a host plant, like the native host plant. I guess rue is. I don't know what the full name of the native rue is. Sorry about that. I just wanted to show you over here. I also just transplanted these meadow blazing star into here. I transplanted some into this one. They were smaller and they were kind of like, you know, I don't know how well they're doing, but I had bigger ones, so I transplanted them there. Hoping to have that pop up next year. Maybe it won't flower, but I'm hoping it'll. Hello, mint. This is the mint. Look, here's the flowers you brought me. They're still going. I've changed the water a few times. And then I just want to give you an update on the front yard because I am making a plan for it to try to get natives out there. I may have the green light. So this is Thuja occidentalis, this tree, so that's native. Then here we've got, oh, most of these are almost done flowering here. Oh, and the Joe-pye weed, yeah. It's gotten quiet. Of course, somehow it's always busier with the sun out, but still. My petunias, wild petunias over here. These are the smooth petunias, although I didn't see the flowers on them. They look like they're already going to seed, and somehow I didn't catch the flowers. Oh, look. We have a little bit of the wood phlox. I think these are wood phlox or smooth phlox. Oh, these are smooth phlox. Yeah. So, not sure if I've done a video with this yet, but you can see that big bush that was a yew is gone. And then, I don't even know what this is, but it's not native. I did look it up once. And then we've got this big yew tree. And so, I'm gonna take all of those out. I'm not sure if I'm gonna rearrange the New Jersey tea. They're native, and I don't know, I just put them there because I replaced the bushes that were there because I didn't think I was ever going to get to do this yard. But I think I'm going to put a path here going to the corner over here, because over here is, you know, to connect it here to be able to walk through. And you see this is all cement back there. And then plant maybe 3 coral berry bushes here. And then on this side of the path, plant some really low growing things like the blue-eyed grass, which is actually an iris, a geranium, and butterfly weed. And then purple coneflower, monodra. Oof, what else did I have a whole list of things that I was thinking of planting here. And then I was thinking here, because this is going to be a little shadier because of the stairs and the house, and this is north facing, of putting a fountain and then putting some ferns around it. And then I'd get rid of these things because I don't know, because I'd just get rid of them. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking for the front yard. So, anyway. You hear these doggies barking. Oh, there's a squirrel. What is going on back here? Yeah, so big and bushy. End of summer. Well, it's not really the end of summer because September 21st is the end of summer, but we still have a couple plants here that need to bloom for our end of summer pollinating. And that's it. Ciao.